Hey, hi, hello, how are you? I'm Pia, and today I'm going to be talking about the top 20 books that I want to read in 2020. So this list includes some books that are coming out in 2020, some books that I don't own, and of course my physical TBR. So these are the books that I really hope to get to. My top priority, obviously I read a lot more than 20 books in a year, but these are the ones I really hope to get read. I'm going to start off with the books that I own. First off, we have Anne of Avonlea by Ellen Montgomery. I love Anne of Green Gables. It's probably my favorite classic of all time, if not my favorite book of all time. And I'm such a fake fan, being that I have not read the rest of the series. There's about 8 books, I want to say, 8 or 6, and I have not continued, even though I own 5 copies of Anne of Green Gables. I would like to continue with the series this year, and I just really love these books. They have such whimsy and such amazing imagination and wonderful landscapes and beautiful writing that I adore these books. So if you have not read Anne of Green Gables, I'm always going to implore you to do so, because I love Anne with my entire heart. Then I have Three Dark Crowns by Kendara Blake. This is a story about triplets who are basically vying for the crown, and they're trying to like kill each other. They all have different powers and stuff. And I believe this is like a trilogy or a quartet, but I know that the last book already came out. So I do want to jump on the bandwagon for this series because I've heard really good things, and I did do a try chapter like forever ago with this, and I really enjoyed what I read of it. But I just really want to pick this up eventually and maybe read the rest of the series if I do like it. Next up is The Last True Poets of the Sea by Julia Drake. I don't really know too much about this book, I'm gonna be honest with you, but I know that this is a book dealing a lot with grief and suicide, and also kind of like a town that's always been like a coastal town that the characters travel back to. I love coastal towns. I think there's a bit of whimsy in it as well. So I just cannot wait to read this. I've heard really good things, and I just don't know why, but I think it seems like something that's gonna be right up my alley to read this. Also, the main character's name is Violet, and you know that has a special place in my heart. Next up is The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. This is probably one of the more accessible classics, if you will, that I would like to get to, because classics honestly just don't entice me or interest me that much. I do not want to read A Tale of Two Cities later this year, which I know I will, and just like books like that I don't really care about, but The Handmaid's Tale seems like something I would really enjoy because of like this dystopian world where women can't control their bodies, and it's like eerily similar to our world. Don't know the specifics of this, but I believe that women are just like baby factories and this like society, and I'm just very excited to get to this because I know it's going to be a really important read and a really good one, so I'm excited to read this. Next up is a book I can't believe I haven't already read, even though it did come out like I think it came out in November. That is The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I started this book, unfortunately didn't finish it. I'm obsessed with this book. I love it so much. I cannot wait to pick this up. This is like my #1 priority at the moment because I just can't believe I haven't read it, and I just want to devour this book. This is about Zachary, who stumbles upon a book that's very strange in the library. He discovers in this book like these clues to like this kind of secret society that's like has bees and keys, and like that's kind of all you need to know, but it's super great. It has also a male romance at the forefront of the story and just has so much whimsy, and I keep saying whimsy, but I don't know, so much like lovely magic. I love Erin Morgenstern. She can do me no wrong. Next up is a book I cannot believe I haven't already read, and that is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. I really wanted to read this year, or last year, but I didn't end up getting to it. So sad, but now that the sequel has come out, I really want to get to it, and I think even the 3rd book might come out in 2020. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think their like estimated release date is in 2020. I'm so excited. I again started this book and like read a chapter of it, and I really enjoyed it, so I think that I definitely need to get to this book. It's a West African inspired fantasy town, or maybe a world where magic has kind of been forbidden. It's kind of been done away with, but these people are trying to bring it back. I really need to get to this and then read the 2nd book and hope for the 3rd, because I just know I'm gonna love this. Then I have The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. I'm 112 pages into this book, and I really wanted to read this by the end of last year, but I didn't end up getting to it because it's massive. But I definitely think I can dedicate some time to it this year. I don't even know how to explain this, but I loved it so much when I started it. It follows like a million different perspectives. I think about 6, I want to say. It's in the West and the East, and it's just how they view dragons. They have different dragons in each part of this, and they hate each other basically, and they have to end up teaming up to try to save the greater good, and there's dragon. And then lastly, for my physical books, I have here Ziggy, Stardust, and Me by James Brandon. I'm gonna be honest with you again, I really don't know what this book is about, but it interests me greatly because it is set in the 70s. I love the 70s. The couple books that I have read set in the 70s, I've absolutely adored, so I just know that I need this. I believe this has a male-male romance, and it's about a boy who's struggling with his sexuality and kind of copes with it by listening to a lot of David Bowie. It sounds really interesting. I love the 70s. I love Bowie. Then we have the books I do not own. This I bought, I don't know where it is. It's in the mail. That is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I'm still in the middle of The Goldfinch, in case you were wondering, and I'm still loving it. I just haven't picked it up in like months. I already like know I'm gonna like finish it, and once I finish it, I'm gonna love it. So I know I'm gonna love The Secret History. I might even like it more. Dark Academia, I think it's about like a guy who's murdered in like this weird pretentious friend group. Sounds a lot like where I live. So next up is Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. I actually have God's Grave, which is the sequel to Nevernight, so I might as well read the first one. This is such a beloved like trilogy that I think just ended, and I know there's like a series coming out, but I know this is like super well loved, and I believe it's about like an assassin, so I want to hop on the bandwagon. I want to see what that's all about. Another book I just want to see what the hype is about, and that is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. Do I need to say anything? Everyone loves it. I don't know. I want to see. And then another book I want to read is Wondersmith by Jessica Townsend. This is the second book in the Nevermore or the Morgan Crow series. I'm not sure what the series is called, but I read Nevermore last year and I really loved it, so I'm really excited to continue with the series. I just was waiting until it came out in paperback. Always and Forever, Laura Jean. I need to finish this series. I know, I need to do it. I don't know why I haven't. I've read the first two books, 12 of Us I've Loved Before and P.S. I Still Love You, which I really liked, so I really want to finish off the series. I'm terrible at finishing series. And then lastly, I really like to read A Darker Shade of Magic by Victoria Schwab, or I think she might be V. Schwab with her adult book. I've read a couple of Victoria Schwab books. I've read some of her YA and some of her middle grade, and I really would like to see what she's like in adult, because people always say like she writes best in adult, so I would like to see what the hype is about. Again, this is a really beloved series about like alternate Londons and like traveling between them. It's kind of like between worlds. I don't know. Then I have some books and I'm really excited that are going to be released this year. Going in order release, we have Tweet Cute, and this comes out January 21st. I'm so excited about this book. It's actually on my January TBR, and I have an arc of it. I'm so hyped. I have heard really good things about this debut. It's by Emma Lord. Is just like a cute romance between like these people who like are fighting on Twitter. Like they have rival restaurants, but then they meet in real life, and it's like cute and fun and quirky. Next up, I have two releases for March 3rd. The first one being Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. I cannot believe we have waited so long for this book. I'm so excited, but I'm glad that she gave me a chance to catch up on her series. This is the first book in the... Ooh, I do not know what the series is called. This is in her new series, which is kind of a follow-up to The Infernal Devices. It was like the one set in the 1800s, and this is following the children of those characters, and I'm so excited! Cordelia Carstairs, and I'm like... Second book that is coming out that day is Only Mostly Devastated. Now, I don't know too much about this book, but I saw it on NetGalley. Unfortunately, I was rejected for the art, but that's okay. This is a male retelling of Grease, and as the big musical fan I can't wait. Can they make a YA retelling, male retelling of Newsies? Guys, I know I just wrote your next new novel. And then on April 3rd, The Switch is coming out, which is by Beth O'Leary. Beth O'Leary's first book, Flattery, came out last year, and I loved it. It was one of my favorite books of the year, and I cannot wait to read this. This is about like a 80-year-old woman and a 20-something-year-old switching like places. And I'm not sure how that's gonna work, but I just know that Beth O'Leary's writing is great and her plots are always so interesting. Then on May 5th, another one of my favorite authors is coming out with a book, and that is Chasing Lucky by Jen Bennett. We obviously can tell that I love Jen Bennett, and I cannot wait for this book. Could not tell you anything about the plot, but I have loved these books so much that I know it's an auto-buy. And then another auto-buy author for me, Erin Hahn. She wrote You'd Be Mine, and I read that last year, and now she's coming out with More Than Maybe, which is an 80s centered romance about like a record store guy in a band, and like I don't want to call myself out, but like I have a type. I'm so excited for this book, like you have no idea. So those are all the books that I hope to get to in 2020. Let me know what of some of your like most anticipated releases, or just books that you didn't get around to last year. My nose is starting to run, so I've got to run. With that being said, like, comment, subscribe, do all the things, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!